Report a shot fired at officers trying to stop the vehicle.
We have one officer shot.
We got shots fired. Sounded like an automatic firearm.
Copy, code red, shots fired.
We have an active shooter. We have an active shooter inside the warehouse.
Now it's Shots Fired with your hosts TJ Kirgin, Dinah Death Milberg, and the lovely Krystal Powers.
That's right. The lovely Krystal Powers is back with me finally. I'm not by myself anymore.
I'm back.
You're back from the Lake of the Ozarks.
Yep.
You know, I've been doing this show all week by myself. And so yesterday, I thought you were going to stand me up again. And so I called my buddy Jamie from Precision Fitness and Medical Spa. You know, I talk about them all the time. They help me look better naked. And so Jamie's here today to help me talk about the world of gun control and the nightmare that we woke up to today. Say hi, Jamie.
What's going on, folks? And thanks for having me on, TJ.
Oh, you're welcome, buddy. You're welcome. Thanks for making me feel better, look better, and live better.
It's a work in progress, but you know.
You know, I always say, so Jamie actually started as, you know, in my life, Jamie started as my wife's trainer, right? And then his wife, Jen, is a nurse practitioner, you know, as a medical spa. She does a lot of the injectables and, you know, the Botox and yada, yada,
The fun
yada.
stuff.
The fun stuff, yeah. And so I always joke that Jamie is responsible for my wife's butt and Jen is responsible for her face.
Teamwork.
So they are my favorite team, my favorite duo in St. Louis because they make her look and feel awesome. And when she feels awesome, she bitches way less.
Happy wife, better life.
That's what Gucci Man says in his new song.
That's right.
That's right. So, hey, I'm in a good mood today, and I really shouldn't be. I think I'm in a good mood because you guys are here.
Well, it's a party.
But it is not a good day if you are a freedom-loving American, and especially if you're a gun owner.
Well, I don't know. I think that depends on your perspective.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Explain.
Well, if all gun laws are
Infringements?
unconstitutional,
Yeah.
then does it really
We're just
matter?
are you saying it's no big deal because they're unconstitutional anyway, so we don't have to follow them?
This is like what's the whose line is it anyway? Where the points are made up and they don't matter.
I like that thinking. I like that thinking.
You have to glass half full sometimes.
So all week we've been telling you, warning you, preaching to you that, you know, there was this Omnibus Gun Bill in Congress. I don't know what omnibus means, but it sounds stupid. And it just means that they put a bunch of bills in one thing. Right. So it's like all these bills jumbled together into one thing. And so last week, you and I were talking about it. We were looking at the bill and we identified the 8 things that were in this bill on the surface. And by the way, they passed all of them. There does not appear to be any changes to the bill that was voted on in Congress and passed with flying colors yesterday with eight Rhino Republican traitors that also voted for the bill.
I think their terms are up too, aren't they?
Yeah, hopefully.
The majority of whom were from New York.
Yeah, I was going to have a list of them today, and it really doesn't matter because this show is airing in Missouri, and there were absolutely no Missouri congressmen or congressional people, whatever, depending on their gender, that voted for this bill. But many, 8 Republicans voted for it elsewhere, and 2 Democrats voted no. I'd like to figure out who they are and pat those guys on the bipartisan back. But anyway, so these things, you know, Jamie, you texted me the other day. What does this mean for us? Do we need to worry? You know, and I said absolutely. It means that we could be really, really screwed here. Because they buried in this Protect the Kids Act, this omnibus bill, all these things. Number 1, raising the age to own a long gun to 21.
Yep.
Right. So it's always been 18. When did you get your first rifle?
I got a 12 gauge shotgun my dad got me when I was 8 years old.
Okay. All right. Yeah. But and that's legal because
that's kind of awesome.
A parent can still gift a child a gun. I gave my son a rifle long before he was 18. Laws only prevent people from going to a gun store and buying one.
Well, laws only prevent the law-abiding citizens from
Right.
Correct.
You really
themselves.
should have listened to my show this week because I talked about that a lot.
Well, it's worth repeating.
Yeah. Well, there are podcasts out there. I'll send you a link.
I actually listen to our podcast.
Do you?
Yeah, I do.
Awesome. Well, you'll have to let me know how I did when I was all by myself. So they want to raise this thing to 18, from 18 to 21. One of our callers yesterday brought up a great point. You know, if you're too immature, according to Congress, to own a rifle at 18 years old, 19 years old, 20 years old, then shouldn't you be considered too immature to vote?
Well, not only that, but my thing with it is at 21, right? You're able to drink.
Right.
And you're able to get a license at 16 and drive. Mm-hmm. Car's a weapon.
Yeah.
You're drinking and driving, so.
Oh, yeah, and statistically, there are so many more car accidents.
So, you know, what are we going to do at that standpoint?
Yeah, that was another thing I brought up yesterday was the 16-year-old concept. At 16 years old, when a child is still a child, they're not an adult yet, we give them the right to drive a car. We then hand them the keys to a 3,000-pound chunk of steel that usually, in most cases, can do over 100 miles an hour. Mm-hmm. And then they go out and kill with it. They kill with it with impunity. More people are killed in vehicle accidents in Missouri. I was actually at the cigar shop, and I heard one of our senators there in a conversation. He said more people were killed last year in car accidents in Missouri than died from actual COVID.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. And so these 16-year-olds are given these cars. Why aren't we saying you have to be 21 to drive a car?
Right, because we know, I know I was drinking at 16, 17.
Yeah.
I had a car. Mm-hmm. So where's my limitations of that? Where's the responsibility?
Drinking, so drinking was obviously illegal at 16
Correct.
or 17. You did it anyway, right?
100%.
I didn't.
You didn't?
No, I'm such a good girl. I waited till I was 21.
Wow.
Wow, look at that.
I know, I told you, straight edge.
Wow.
Like a razor edge.
Okay, so she's come and take it, Molone Labe. You're not, this is unconstitutional and you're not stopping me and my guns, but I won't drink before I'm 21.
No, because, you know what? how do I put this? I've always been for rules that make sense. And I was always, as a kid, very obedient. I never snuck out. I didn't do anything.
God, I wish you were my daughter.
I was so dorky. I had a promise ring. I was like just straight edge as much as possible. And when I became an adult, which is less a number that the government has decided to give me, but more so a realization in my own mind, I'm responsible for myself, which coincidentally happened when I lived on my own when I was like 19. I realized that you're going to be put in situations where you don't have anybody to turn to, and you are going to be held responsible. And especially having a child now, the magnitude of that is so much more so. And the authority that I recognize needs to act like the authority that I would call my own authority. I don't know if that makes sense.
It kind of does. Can you explain? Or
well, like in my case, my dad, scary man. My dad never laid his hands on us, but he just looked at you and the fear of God went through you. So, but his rule with me was like, you can mess up a lot, son. He goes, but if you drink and drive, your ass is on your own. You can sit in there until you can get a way out. He goes, we'll help you any other way. So there was definitely consequences with that situation with what I chose to do and have a drink and go drive. But, that responsibility still fell on me. It didn't fall on my parents or anybody else. That came down to me, and I knew there was consequences, and I still chose to do it. So,
because you're human and you have that decision to make. And so
correct.
If you were a criminal that doesn't care about those consequences, you're going to do it anyway, which is why these laws are not going to make anybody any safer. These laws only penalize the legal, law-abiding gun owner, and they add charges to the criminals when the criminals do the crime. That's all they do, right? They just add charges. So let's talk about some more. So they're going to take away constitutional adulthood from 18, 19, and 20-year-olds, punish all of them for the action of a very few. By the way, I looked yesterday, the average age of a mass shooter. So mass shootings in the United States, defined by the people that make the definitions of these things, are any shooting that is more than 3 people get hit, right?
Yeah.
So it's like 17 mass shootings every weekend in Chicago. Okay. Matter of fact, that's a real statistic. Last weekend, there were 17 mass shootings, I think, in Chicago, maybe Chicago and Philly and St. Louis. Yeah, that might have been over 30. But anyway, I digress. The guys that do this, they say the average age of a mass shooter is 33.1 years old.
I was going to guess 35.
Yeah, 33.1 years old.
See, I was down younger.
And only 50% of those, I think it's like 53% of the mass shooters are white guys.
Yeah.
What percentage?
53, I think.
So the majority, what I hear.
It was just absolute majority.
That's the only thing
Absolute
certain people are
majority.
going to hear.
But so they're trying to take the 18 to 21 year olds the ability to have a rifle away. And a lot of people think that's common sense. Like, oh, that makes total sense. But it doesn't. No. They're old enough to fight and die for this country. They're old enough to be handed a rifle and told to go to work. Matter of fact, the bill excludes active military. And the bill excludes anybody that works for the government or any political organization that is hired to have a gun, right? So part of their job is having a gun. Well, that's only one of the 8 things that they're looking to do to you. And there's way more than 8. Matter of fact, after we come back from the break, we're going to talk about how disassembling, cleaning, and reassembling your gun will be a felony if this bill gets passed by the Senate. I'm also going to tell you how you can fight it. Yeah! We're back.
Wow, I was
very angry. But that's basically how gun owners should feel today. You should be listening to death metal and increasing your anger levels to 10. Seriously, because it's almost time to need them rather than to lose them in a boating accident. What do they call it? Use it, don't lose it.
Oh, I've actually never heard that before.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I like it.
I saw it was a meme. I'm just like Senator Lindsey Graham. I just see memes and say them in public, and people think I'm funny.
There's some pretty good memes out there right now.
Did you see what he said yesterday?
No.
Yeah, he was talking on Fox News. He was talking about gun control. And by the way, I can't stand Lindsey Graham. He's one of the rhinos that need to go away. But he said that this is live on television. He just basically read a meme. He said gas prices are so high, you might as well just do cocaine and run everywhere.
It's a point.
Yeah. And unfortunately, Biden's son didn't get a chance to weigh in on that because I really would have liked to hear his opinion on that. So we're talking about the Omnibus Gun Bill that passed the Congress with a landslide with 8 Republicans voting for it yesterday. It's on its way to the Senate, and it's full of BS, absolute BS. Right before the break, I teased the fact that this bill has some stuff hidden in it that we didn't see last week when we were talking about it because we didn't read the whole thing because nobody does, right? Even the people that vote on this stuff don't read it.
Right.
And so I got a text this morning from Jason Wilson. Jason is literally Donald Trump Jr.'s best friend. Okay. And I just happen to know this guy. He's a big time marketing guy in the conservative world. I'm pretty sure he runs Donald Trump Jr.'s like social media accounts and stuff. Really, really influential guy, loves to fish, great dude. And so he sent me an explanation because I saw Gun Owners of America posted a tweet, and that tweet was basically retweeted by, what was it? Let's see, Gun Owners of America. They posted this thing that said that disassembling your firearm, cleaning it and reassembling it was now, would be illegal if this bill passes the Senate. But we couldn't find anywhere any actual, proof of how that is, determined. And so Jason called me and he basically broke it down for me. Let's see here. I've got it right here. He says, number one, the bill defines, so there's a lot of definitions in this bill where it'll just, a little subchapter paragraph will say, the definition of this will be changed to be this. Or we're going to add this word in this paragraph and this subsection of an existing law. And so then you got to go back to that existing law and find that paragraph and subsection, inject that word and see how does it change things.
It's like open to interpretation, isn't it? Like how they want to interpret it at that point in time.
It's just their way of burying. Instead of saying what they're doing, they're saying, hey, we're changing a word in a paragraph in another law. And unless you go look at the other law and put in the word and figure out how it changes the meaning of the law, you really don't know what they're doing.
That's straight out of the left's handbook.
Absolutely.
Playbook.
Yep.
Excuse me.
And so the way so he says, number one, the bill defines a frame or receiver as broadly as the recently proposed ATF rule. Remember a couple of months ago, the ATF came out with a rule redefining a frame or a receiver. So they're going after ghost guns. That's number two in this bill. They're basically trying to expand on what has already been done to make ghost guns, to restrict ghost guns by Biden's executive action. And so the bill defines a frame or receiver as broadly as the ATF proposed rule, resulting in dumb things like an AR-15 having as many as 10 regulated parts. See page 10, line 20 of the bill. So what that means is right now an AR-15 has one regulated part. It's the lower receiver. That is the gun. That's the serialized part. You have to get a background check to buy that part. And then you could buy all the other parts and you can put it together and build yourself a gun. Right? Yep. You've done it.
Multiple times.
And I've done it. Have you ever built a rifle?
No.
Oh, we got to get you doing that.
It's one of my favorite things to do.
Yeah. It's very peaceful. It's like a Lego, or it's like an erector set.
Very much.
It's like an erector set of death. No, I'm kidding. All right. That's what the liberals will call it.
Just call it fun.
Yeah. An erector set of fun. I like it. So, number two, manufacturing a firearm. This is it. This is page 9, line 14 of the bill. Manufacturing a firearm includes, quote, assembling a functioning firearm, end quote. So it used to be that manufacturing, the definition of manufacturing a firearm was creating a firearm for sale, right? If you're manufacturing a firearm with the goal and intention of selling it, you need to be a licensed manufacturer, which is a federally licensed firearms dealer, FFL. You need an SOT-07, which is a special tax stamp that allows you to manufacture firearms and requires you to pay an excise tax of, I believe, 15% or 17%, something like that, on every gun when it goes bang. Okay, so when it goes bang, you owe the excise tax. And that excise tax is on every gun at the manufacturer level, and they can only be manufactured by SOT-07s, okay? Not FFLs, an SOT-07. That's important. You, as an American patriot, citizen, whatever, you have the legal right to manufacture a gun, and that right was given to you by the Constitution. Gun laws that are existing say you can't sell that gun for a profit. If you do, you need a manufacturing license.
Correct.
So what they're trying to do is they're going to broaden the term manufacturing to include you putting together an AR-15. And they're going to regulate 9 additional parts of the AR-15, including the hammer, the bolt carrier, the stripped upper, and the, the trigger. Fire control group. All of those things are going to be, quote unquote, regulated. Okay, they're all going to be considered firearms. So that if you put them together, if you put a new trigger in your gun, you just manufactured a gun. If you put a new bolt carrier in your gun, you just manufactured a gun.
So this, how would you possibly regulate this in actuality?
Well, right. That's what my son said. He's like, well, how are they going to know I took my gun apart, cleaned it, and put it back together?
Are they trying to have serial numbers on every single piece?
It doesn't say.
Okay.
It doesn't say. It's not there yet. So this is obviously something they're going to have to work through in the Senate. But it's just asinine.
It's a stepping stone, it sounds like.
Yeah, if you could ban all the parts and ban anybody from being able to put them together other than manufacturers. And then there's another bill, by the way, we talked about on the radio, that they want to change that excise tax to 1,000%.
Yes.
Yep.
Which would make the average quality AR-15 $20,000.
Yep.
Basically making it as attainable as a machine gun, which means only by the rich.
Exactly. That's where I was going with that.
Which is the new racism, right? It's socioeconomic targeting.
Yep.
It is.
You poors can't have any guns. Only us rich people. Us rich people are going to make the laws, and then we're going to create loopholes so that we don't have to follow them. So, to keep you guys down and keep you from being able to revolt against our oligarchy society where, we're being ruled by these billionaires.
Just like they do with taxes.
Well, gun laws are a lot like taxes, right? a lot of people joke you can't pay your taxes legally. They can always find something that you did wrong. Right. Well, this is what they're doing with these gun laws. They're going to make it impossible to own a firearm legally in this country. That way they can come and get you anytime they want for anything. We'll be back after this. I'm starting to get the hang of this radio stuff. Today's the second to last day I'm going to be on the air probably. But at least they gave me the voice this week because this week is a very important week to gun owners. And that is kind of my mission as a Second Amendment advocate. Kind of like Jamie, your mission is kind of a health and fitness advocate. Right? Yeah,
my goal is I like to take on the bully of the big pharma.
Yeah,
I like to go after them.
Well, you just off the air, you were saying that what were you saying? I don't want to put words in your mouth.
Well, it's just they're targeting everything, including like
they being like
government,
the
feds, government. So even it's really hard for our facility, we're an age management and preventative health facility, even to get approval for vitamin D levels.
Yeah.
Because low vitamin D has been shown, and that's the big immune part of your immune system. So they don't want people seeing how low their vitamin D levels are because it's attached to what we call the spicy flu, which we all kind of know that's been going around for 2 years, been dealing with.
Yeah.
So of course they don't need any evidence that this isn't impacting that part of your body. So if you can't test it and you can't show that it's wrong, then nobody can argue against it.
Wow. So they want us all sick.
Of course they do.
So they don't want us to know our vitamin D levels. So they're regulating the ability to pull that in a blood panel so that we can't take more vitamin D supplements and be healthier.
Well, not only that, but they went after a supplement called NAC, which is the precursor to glutathione, and glutathione is the mother of all antioxidants.
I take NAC.
Right. So good luck trying to find it right now because they've,
Oh, no, I bought it in bulk at the very beginning.
Yeah.
Because I knew it was going to get
weird.
I
did that with ammo. I call TG up. I'm like, just give me as much as you got. So, but no, we do glutathione shots every week. One, because I have an autoimmune disease, but it's just good for antioxidants and detoxifying the body. But yeah, that's another thing they went after. They went after NAC because it's a precursor, so they don't want you getting better. They even tried to go after curcumin, turmeric, because it has a profound effect on depression and cancer. And they actually try to make that a medicated by prescription only.
Because they don't want cancer to go away either. Of
course not.
Because it's population control.
Correct.
Right? The government literally doesn't want you here.
Not well.
Well, no, because that makes them money.
They want you sick and unprotected.
Sick and unprotected. Yeah. So they don't want you to have a gun so you can protect yourself against their hordes of riotous Molotov cocktail throwing, transgender, whatever they are.
Bloc.
Huh?
Black bloc.
Yeah. They don't want you to be able to protect yourself from them with a firearm, and they don't want you to be able to protect yourself against the spicy flu or the monkeypox, depending on what community you're in and how close your touching is.
Oh, okay. Picking up what
Did you hear about that? Did you hear about that?
Oh,
monkeypox.
Yes.
The CDC comes out, everybody needs to wear a mask for monkeypox. And it's like, seriously? This is a sexually transmitted disease that's prevalent in the gay community only. 1,000 people in the world have it. That's it.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter.
So what are you masking?
It's called a condom, Jamie.
Sorry. Been married too long, I guess.
All right. We better get back on the gun thing. I think our Alex Death Milberg's on the phone. Fish, can we bring him in? Because he hasn't been on this show all week long.
Alex, we miss you.
That one? Here, let me take it. It's free.
Alex, are you there?
I work for a distributor. This is a sample.
No. Sounds like he's doing business. He's working.
He's making cheddar.
This is one from
Yeah.
my day job.
All right. I guess, Fish, we'll come back to Alex in just a minute. This is live radio. Stuff like that happens. Alex what he was going to do was he was going to kind of further explain some of the things he found in this bill. And one of the things was really interesting. He would put it better into words, but obviously he's with a customer or something. What he found was that there's another paragraph inside this bill that says that the FBI must provide data to the Congress within X amount of days of this bill going back into effect. And that data, he's ready now, that data is to the socioeconomic class, race, yada, 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 of people that were not allowed to buy firearms due to these new regulations. Alex, are you back on the phone?
I am.
Okay. Yeah. So you sounded like we caught you a little busy there at TacticalSht.T in St. Peter's. You were dispensing freedom.
30 round plus at a time, apparently.
30 round clipazines. You know what? TacticalSht.T in St. Peter's has copious amounts of pre-ban high capacity magazines in stock right now. We bought them because we saw this coming, and we don't have any faith in our ability to stop this government from doing what they want to restrict you. The beautiful thing is, it does look like in the bill, there is one spot in the bill that says that if you own a high capacity magazine before the enactment of the law, that will be considered pre-ban and you'll be able to keep it. Later on in the thing, it says that they're going to do buyback programs and yada, yada, yada. Now, if we could look at that law to be something like California, it pretty much means that any magazine you had before the ban, you can keep, but you just can't buy them anymore. We can't sell them anymore. You can't do interstate commerce. You can't ship them anymore. I can't hand one to you, Jamie. I have to keep it myself. But the thing is, there's no way to prove when you bought it. It's just like in California. You get pulled over with a 30-round Stendo on your Glock 19, and they're like, "Where'd you get that?" "Well, I got that back in 1975. You got a receipt?" "No, man, they didn't have printers back then." So, Alex, what was the thing you saw in there that had to do with reporting data back to the Congress? Had to do with race and age and sex and all that scary data that leads to gun registrations and whatnot.
So it's HR 7910, and anytime I see a House bill or any bill put up at all that has something labeled in the very, very end of the bill stating miscellaneous, that usually has me slightly frightened. So, again, the bill is HR 7910 on Title 7, Section 701 is a NICS report, and it states, not later than 1 year after the date of enactment of this act and annually thereafter, the Attorney General shall submit to the Committee on the Judiciary of the Senate and the Committee on the Judiciary of the House of Representatives a report that includes, with respect to the preceding year, the demographic data of persons who were determined to be ineligible to purchase a firearm, meaning a denied, based on a background check performed by NICS, including race, ethnicity, national origin, sex, gender, age, disability, average annual income, and English language proficiency if available. Now, what confuses me is, and TJ, I know you've probably filled out a few 4473s yourself in your day.
Thousands.
I don't remember on the NICS 4473 remotely asking for disability's average annual income and your English proficiency at all.
Yeah, I don't think that's on there yet.
Yeah, yet. We've already seen how quickly that can change with the addition of binary as a gender option, as well as other for gender options. So now, who knows what they're going to add. I'm intrigued by the fact that they're asking for that much detailed information specifically.
Yeah, they want to know the race, sex, and ethnicity, and basically everything about the people that get denied. But this bill offers absolutely nothing to enhance the NICS system. The NICS system is the same system that approved the 18-year-old shooter in Uvalde, even though he was on a watch list for the FBI because they considered him a threat. The NICS system is a joke. Why do you get denied on NICS? What would cause you to get denied? You're a felon? What else?
SIS.
Suspended imposition of sentence.
Restraining order.
Okay.
Illegal alien.
All right.
We'll see how much longer that lasts. Past that, I can't think of anything else.
Assault charge?
No. Well, if it was a felony, if you have a SIS,
felony assault.
No, though.
So they're doing a basic criminal background check on you, which is pretty much something that anybody can do on the internet. Okay.
Yeah.
They're not checking anything to you. So, they want to talk about mental health in this country, and they talk about, on the 4473, it says that have you ever been adjudicated mentally defective? Has a judge ever said that you're crazy? which never happens, or, which is the newest part, have you ever been committed to a mental institution against your will? Now, I think that was a good one to add. Although I do believe that somebody that has been committed to a mental institution should have the due process to be able to still own a firearm. Because just because they got put in a mental institution when they were 17, suffering from bipolar mania or something like that, and they've corrected it and they're 30-something, that we shouldn't be prohibiting them from having a gun.
Well, not only that, but I know of it hits home on this one of a family member that was put on a psych medicine that was completely the wrong psych medicine for them and drove them into a schizophrenic event. And so it wasn't his fault that it happened, but it happened to him. So the doctor induced his issue, which put him into a psych hold.
Yeah.
So now he's going to, no fault of his, now he's got to go back and prove, or he can't ever own a gun because a doctor messed up and put him on the wrong medication. Yeah. And I'll even add that we did genetic testing on him and told the doctors the best medication to put him on, and they still put him on the one that he shouldn't be on.
Yeah, you talked about big pharma, and I'm always trying to say things that make big pharma take me out, right?
100%.
And by the way, I love my life. If I kill myself this week, it was big pharma or the Clintons, one or the other.
Or your wife.
Yeah, she'd probably do it for him for the right price. She might actually be listening today. I told her she never listens to the show, but since Jamie's here,
right?
She's going to probably be listening to the show.
Awesome.
Yeah. But big pharma, so I don't have any data, but I guarantee if you Google it, the vast majority of these crazy young shooters, or shooters in general, all have been proven to be on some sort of psychosis or
antidepressant.
Some sort of antidepressant, MOAI, or what are they called? And we see those commercials. We've seen them for years. May cause thoughts of suicide. If you have thoughts of suicide, please stop taking blank, fill in the blank, and contact your doctor immediately. Right? Why doesn't Big Pharma also put in there may cause thoughts of suicide or homicide? Is it not true that most people that kill themselves on those antipsychosis or antidepressant drugs kill themselves to protect their family members because they are having homicidal thoughts and they kill themselves to protect others?
100%.
So, funny enough, TJ, as you were saying that, I got on the old Google machine and looked up mass shooters and psychotic medication or anything like that. And there's a list of 37 mass shooters who were on antidepressants and which ones. And the beginning of it, this is an article from an online blog called the Thought Catalog, which I've never heard before. And this is actually from September 11, 2019. The very beginning of it says, every time there's a mass shooting in America, it understandably starts up another national conversation about gun rights because, by definition, there would be no mass shooting without guns. But since mass shootings are perpetrated by an extremely tiny minority of gun owners, many of who don't even own their own guns legally, perhaps it's naive to think that gun ownership is itself the sole or even primary cause of mass shootings. Countries such as Norway, France, Switzerland, all which have stricter gun laws and lower per capita gun ownership in the United States, have far higher per capita rates of mass shootings. Boom.
Go ahead.
And then it goes on to list these mass shooters and what antidepressants and medication they were on, and then their theory of how that did it, such as James Holmes, right before weeks prior to his shooting, received an increase in his dosage of Zoloft.
Mm-hmm.
And it just goes on and on. Zoloft, some other ones, Prozac.
I ended up taking Paxil for about 5 days once because I was having anxiety problems in my mid-20s. And I literally wanted to kill everybody. I locked myself in a room and I immediately stopped taking it. I was having the most psychotic thoughts I'd ever thought of in my life. And it was because I was taking this Paxil bullshit, and I immediately took myself off of it. My doctor's like, well, you can't just stop like that, cold turkey. I'm like, oh, I'm going to for sure. But anyway, before this music plays out, I want to talk about real quick, John Noveski, one of the famous rifle manufacturers in this country. One of his last posts before mysteriously dying in a car accident had to do with just this conversation. And when we come back, I'm gonna read what his post was, and it'll play right into what Alex was talking about. We've gone down the rabbit hole. We're supposed to be talking about this crazy bill that's gone to the Senate and how you can fight it. I can tell you, the way you fight it is you go to Gun Owners of America. Gun Owners of America, they have a website called gunpocalypse.org. Gunpocalypse, might be .com, Gunpocalypse. Or just Google Gun Owners of America. They have a really easy little deal right there where you can put in your name, put in your email address, put in your address and your zip code, and it'll automatically populate an email that you can send to your senator. And you can either use their wording. They don't recommend that. They recommend you write your own. Just something very simple. We need to tell these senators that we in no way support any of this gun law, any of this gun legislation, and none of this gun legislation, if passed, is going to make us as Americans any safer. It's a simple fact. But what we were talking about before the break, we'd kind of gone down the rabbit hole of people that are on medications and how there is no, the NICS program, there's no way when you do somebody's background check on NICS, there's no medical tie-in, there's nothing to say that you're diagnosed as this or whatever. Right. There's no tie-in to the FBI database if you're on a watch list. It's literally just a background check like somebody does when you're getting a job. Mm-hmm. And, what we talk about is that most of these shooters are on some sort of antidepressant. And I really think that antidepressants are the problem. I think antidepressants are the problem. I think video games are the problem. I think parenting or the lack thereof is the problem. I think the media is the problem. But we just want to blame it on a gun.
Social media, too.
Yeah, social media. Well, it's media.
Yeah. Well, bullying, kids can't get away from it anymore. When I was in school and stuff, you come home, you didn't have to deal with the bullying until the next day. But kids can't get away from the bullying with all the social media stuff now.
Right. So. It'll drive you nuts. Mm-hmm. So John Noveske, famous rifle manufacturer, John Noveske Rifle Works. He died in 2013 in a mysterious car accident. And it was right after he posted an anti-Big Pharma post about mass shooters. And because this is right after Sandy Hook, mm-hmm. He posted basically this. Eric Harris, age 17, on Zoloft, then Luvox. He was one of the Columbine shooters, killed 12 students, one teacher wounded 23 others. Jeff Wise, age 16, prescribed 60 milligrams a day of Prozac, 3 times the average starting dose for adults, when he shot his grandfather's girlfriend, and many fellow students at Red Lake, Minnesota, and shot himself. 10 dead, 12 wounded. Corey Badesgard, age 16, Washington State High School, on Paxil, which caused him to have hallucinations. When he took a rifle to school, held 23 classmates hostage. He doesn't have any memory of the event. Chris Fetters, age 13, killed his favorite aunt while taking Prozac. Christopher Pittman, age 12, murdered both his grandparents while taking Zoloft. Matthew Miller, age 13, hung himself in his bedroom closet after taking Zoloft for 6 days. It goes on and on and on. Mm-hmm. It's a post that he made, and then he died in a tragic accident. Yeah. But anyway, if you ever want to see that, just Google John Noveske link to drugs and school shootings. Then you'll pull up the article from Trebuchet that has the actual data. Anyway, so I've told you what you need to do. You need to go to Gun Owners of America. You need to find that form. You need to contact your senators. You need to send emails. You need to make phone calls. You need to send letters. You need to talk to your friends, talk to your wife, talk to your girlfriend, talk to your kids, explain to them, when your girlfriend says, I think it's a great idea not to have a rifle in the hands of a 19-year-old, explain to her why that's unconstitutional. Yep.
Or get new friends.
If someone says red flag laws are a good idea, explain to them why red flag laws violate 9 of your civil rights.
Yep.
With no due process. There's all kinds of things that you can be doing to fight this, because if this bill goes through, it's just one step closer to disarmament of American people and putting us one step closer, one foot in the grave as a country.
It's almost like healthcare where, doctors, they treat symptoms, not the cause. They'll prescribe a medication to treat a symptom, but they don't find the root cause of what the problem is.
You're speaking my language.
And right now, all they're doing is they're trying to fix a symptom, which, everybody feels terrible about school shootings and stuff like that, but they're not getting to the root cause of what is actually causing the kid to go to that direction.
Or how doctors are incentivized by the pharmaceutical companies
to prescribe.
Right.
We don't talk about nutrition. There's it's conflicting data, but it's 60 to 80% of your serotonin, which is your feel-good hormone, is made in your gut, which is your second brain. But yet all these kids are eating like garbage cans. So they're not producing serotonin. So you got a kid that says, I'm a little depressed or is acting up in class. What do? They put them on Adderall, or they put them on Ritalin, or they put them on something, and the next phase is going to be...
Which further harms your gut.
Well, 100%. It just destroys it. And, then it just goes down the rabbit hole of the next psych drug and the next psych drug. And like we were talking about on break is what happens when people start feeling better, whether it's any type of medication, they'll quit because they think, well, I feel better, so I can just stop my medication. No, that's why you feel better. But in some cases, like what I was talking about before, is they don't even need to be on the medication to be in the first place. What they need to do is they need to get their lazy butts up and they need to go exercise. The parents need to quit being lazy and feeding them like garbage cans and clean up their diet. That's where we need to start at with this stuff.
Sure. Well, I mean, you're so good at that. Both of you are. I mean,
I'm so. Can I just?
Yes. I mean, Krystal here has got me not eating seed oils.
Right.
I'm so proud of you.
Yeah, because seed oils are the devil.
So omega-6s.
Yeah. Wow.
Run.
Wow. But like you, I was under a lot of stress at work a couple weeks ago. I had terrible anxiety. I couldn't sleep. I'd wake up 2 or 3 in the morning and lay there and just mind racing about, invoices and inventory and sales and shipping and all these things that are going on. And I talked to you and you're like, well, the stress is real because, there's things going on. So let's treat what happens with the stress. So you told me, start chewing 4 magnesium gummies before you go to bed, take 2 iron chewables. Was it iron? No, it was zinc. Zinc. Yep. You gave me some wasabu papa. Ashwagandha pill. I don't know what ashwagandha pill it was. What does that do? Because I take it. Because you know what? I don't even ask him.
Relax.
I don't even ask him anymore. I just take the stuff. Whenever he tells me to change something in my diet, I just do it, because it was 2 or 3 days later after I started following his regimen that I started sleeping through the night. I started getting REM sleep. I was dreaming again, and and when I would wake up, I wouldn't think about dumb things. My mind wouldn't race. I'm still stressed, but he solved it. And that's the thing that him and his wife are doing at Precision Fitness. It's not just about, being a personal trainer and working out. You're basically helping people live better lives.
Preventative health and age management is how well do you want to age? It's kind of like your finances. What do you want your finances to look when you retire? You want to be broke or do you want to be rich?
So do you actually slow down the aging process or do you reverse it?
We slow it down by a combination of through a hormone replacement, through peptides, through nutrition, and of course Jen with her Botox and fillers and stuff like that can make you look 15 years younger in a couple of sticks.
Yeah, she does it for me. I love my Botox, Jen. Keep sticking me.
Botox is good.
All right, Precision Fitness and Medical Spa, Precision Fitness.
PrecisionFitnessandSpa.com.
And Spa.com. They're in the Deerbergs Plaza in Creve Coeur on Olive.
And Ross Road.
Yeah, so go see them, go to the website, give them a call. Doesn't matter if you want to look better naked, you want to feel better, you want to fight better, you want to look younger, you want to feel younger, you want to do all of the above, sleep better. Go get some, you know what? Testosterone supplementation. It's what America needs right now.
A lot of it.
Stop drinking soy. Start doing more tests.
Yeah, absolutely. They actually have decreased down test level readings to demasculine us.
Yeah. And don't forget to supplement your vitamin D. The government doesn't want you to. We'll be back tomorrow. Hopefully Krystal Powers is here.
I'll be here.
Jamie could be here if he wants to come back. We'll find out.
I'll be on a flight to Omaha.
Just be us.